Passion. Passion. I have a passion for learning new things. She expressed her passion for helping others. He had a passion for adventure.
Path. Path. We followed the path through the woods. The path to success is never easy. She chose a path that was unfamiliar to her.
Payment. Payment. He made the payment using his credit card. The payment was due by the end of the day. They accepted the payment without any questions.
Peaceful. Peaceful. The sunset was peaceful and serene. The lake was peaceful and still. We sat in silence, enjoying the peaceful atmosphere.
Percentage. Percentage. The percentage of people who voted was high. The percentage of people who completed the survey was low. The percentage of people who had a positive opinion was increasing.
Perfectly. Perfectly. The cake was perfectly cooked. The room was perfectly clean. He sang the song perfectly.
Performance. Performance. The performance was critically acclaimed. The show was a great performance. He gave a remarkable performance.
Personally. Personally. I personally do not believe this. He personally apologized for his mistake. I personally think that this is a bad idea.
Persuade. Persuade. She tried to persuade him to stay. They were unable to persuade him to change his mind. He was easily persuaded by her arguments.
Photographer. Photographer. The photographer took beautiful pictures. The photographer was skilled and experienced. The photographer was hired for the event.
Photography. Photography. Photography is a popular hobby. He studies photography in college. He has a passion for photography.
Pin. Pin. She pinned the picture to the wall. She pinned the fabric to the dress. He pinned the badge to his shirt.
Pipe. Pipe. The pipe was leaking water. The pipe was cracked and broken. The pipe was too narrow for the object to fit through.
Planning. Planning. We are planning a vacation. They are planning a surprise party. She is planning a wedding.
Pleasant. Pleasant. The weather was pleasant and mild. The view was pleasant and peaceful. The atmosphere was pleasant and welcoming.
Pleasure. Pleasure. It was a pleasure to meet you. It was my pleasure to help. It was a great pleasure to work with you.
Plenty. Plenty. There was plenty of food. There were plenty of people. There was plenty of time.
Plot. Plot. The plot of the movie was interesting. The plot of the book was complex. The plot of the story was captivating.
Poem. Poem. He wrote a beautiful poem. The poem was about love. The poem was full of emotion.
Poet. Poet. The poet wrote about love. The poet wrote about life. The poet wrote about nature.
Poetry. Poetry. He studied poetry in college. She wrote poetry as a hobby. She read poetry as a form of relaxation.
Poison. Poison. The poison was lethal. The poison was tasteless and odorless. The poison was deadly.
Poisonous. Poisonous. The berries were poisonous. The snake was poisonous. The plant was poisonous.
Policy. Policy. The company had a strict policy. The policy was implemented immediately. The policy was well received.
Political. Political. The discussion was political in nature. The event was political in nature. The debate was political in nature.
Politician. Politician. The politician was charismatic. The politician was well liked. The politician was influential.
Politics. Politics. The class discussed politics. The meeting focused on politics. The debate was about politics.
Port. Port. The ship arrived at the port. The port was bustling with activity. The port was a busy place.
Portrait. Portrait. The artist painted a portrait of her. He took a portrait of his family. He hung a portrait of his grandmother on the wall.
Possibly. Possibly. It is possibly true. It is possibly false. It is possibly the best option.
Pot. Pot. She stirred the pot. He filled the pot with water. The pot was boiling.
Pour. Pour. He poured the coffee. She poured the milk. He poured the syrup.
Poverty. Poverty. The poverty rate is increasing. The poverty rate is alarming. The poverty rate is concerning.
powder, powder. She sprinkled powder on her face. He added powder to the mixture. The powder was white and fine.
Powerful, powerful. The storm was powerful. The engine was powerful. The computer was powerful.
Practical, practical. The solution was practical. The advice was practical. The solution was both practical and effective.
Pray, pray. He prayed for guidance. She prayed for strength. They prayed for peace.
Prayer, prayer. The prayer was answered. The prayer was heartfelt. The prayer was sincere.
Prediction, prediction. He made a prediction about the future. He made a bold prediction. The prediction was accurate.
Prepared, prepared. He was prepared for the challenge. She was prepared for the test. They were prepared for the meeting.
Presentation, presentation. He gave an impressive presentation. The presentation was well received. The presentation was informative.
Press, press. He pressed the button. She pressed the lever. He pressed the switch.
Pressure, pressure. He felt the pressure to succeed. She felt the pressure of expectations. They felt the pressure to perform.
Pretend, pretend. The children pretended to be pirates. She pretended to be asleep. He pretended to be surprised.
Previous, previous. The previous year was successful. The previous meeting was productive. The previous record was broken.
Previously, previously. This has not happened previously. This was not discussed previously. This was not mentioned previously.
Priest, priest. The priest gave a sermon. The priest conducted the ceremony. The priest offered prayers.
Primary, primary. The primary language was English. The primary school was large. The primary goal was to succeed.
Prince, prince. The prince was charming. The prince was handsome. The prince was kind.